Hi students, my name is Hitesh Narashet. I am from Mannavara. So last class we discussed about a topic from 9th standard, that is quadrilateral. In quadrilateral we already discussed about what is meant by quadrilateral, angle sum property and some of the properties of a parallelogram, and also we derived and proved some of the theorem based on properties of parallelogram. So here up to theorem 8.8 is completed. So let us move on to the next part, that is midpoint theorem. Midpoint theorem. Yes. So here midpoint theorem. So what are the midpoint we have to take? So here we have to consider a triangle. So firstly it's a ABC triangle. So here we have to take the midpoint of either side of the triangle. That is here AB and AC. Here E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. So also we joined EF. EF here. So when we measure EF and BC, when we measure this EF and BC, if it is EF is half of this BC. That means when we take the half of the length of BC, so if it is equal to the EF, then EF is parallel to BC. So this is the midpoint theorem. So that is, so here consider triangle ABC. In triangle ABC we have to consider the triangle, and in that E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. Then if you measure EF and BC, if EF is half into BC, yes, if EF is equal to half into BC, then EF is parallel to BC. Also this angle AEF and angle ABC, those two are equal. So already you know that when EF and BC are parallel it is. When it is parallel, so with EF, angle AEF and angle ABC are the corresponding angles. We already know that one. So here those two are equal. So that is, if it is EF is equal to half into BC, then EF is parallel to BC and angle AEF is equal to angle ABC. Yes. So this is the condition we have. Also here what we have to do here, so we have to prove this theorem. So let us take the theorem 8.9. Let us take theorem 8.9. The theorem 8.9 states that the line joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. So we have to prove. That means here E is the midpoint of AB, F is the midpoint of AC. That means here the line joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. We have to prove. So let's take the statement of theorem 8.9. It is the line joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. Two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. Is parallel to the third side. So here we have to prove this theorem. So that means here it is given that AB is midpoint of E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. We can take. That means here it is given the line joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle. It means, so that line, so made up from these 2 points are the midpoint of AB and AC respectively. Let us take the given. What are the given? We have to write first. Given. So given it is, consider in ABC triangle, that is in triangle ABC. In triangle ABC, E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. It is given. Then here AE is equal to EB. We want that one. AE is equal to EB because E is the midpoint of AB. Then AF is equal to FC. AF is equal to FC. We can take. Yes. Also we can take AE is equal to half of AB and AF is equal to half of AC. There is no need of that one because here only E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. So from that one we can take these two known terms. Yes. So what we have to prove here? Yes. So we have to prove this line is parallel to the third side. This line is parallel to the third side, that is EF is parallel to BC. We have to prove EF is parallel to BC. We have to prove here. So just look at the figure here. So there is any chances to get the result here? No, because here just observe here EF is parallel to BC. So parallel. So when we go into the concept about parallel, so parallelogram is very much needed. If we have parallelogram, so we can prove easily. But here there is no any parallelogram here. Here it is a trapezium is there. Here it is a triangle is there. Completely it's a triangle. So that's why, so we have to construct a parallelogram here with the given triangle. From the given triangle we have to draw a parallelogram here. Yes. So let us take that one. Here just observe EF is parallel to BC. We have to prove that one. That's why. So EF. So we have to extend EF here. Try to extend EF and we have to take EF is equal to FD. So like there we have to draw like that. Here just observe. Here I will take the same length here. F. So EF is equal to. So here I will take the same length like this. So here I constructed a parallelogram here, that is I will name it as D. BC DE parallelogram it is constructed. Here I draw that parallelogram. Here I extended this line EF up to D such that EF is equal to FD. Must be we have to take and we have to join C. Yes. So let us take the construction. Extend EF such that EF is equal to FD. Yes, EF is equal to FD and join CD here. So here it's a construction, so it is well needed. It's because so for our proof it is very much needed. Because we have to prove EF is parallel to BC. If it is, we have to prove ED is parallel to BC. So we can easily take EF is parallel to BC because it's a half of this complete line ED. EF is half of this complete line ED. So that's why we can take that one. Yes. So here, then we have to prove. So let us prove here. Yes. So here just observe. So here we have to prove. So already we know about it before this concept, before this theorem, I give some of the hints to you. So that is, if it is EF is parallel to BC, so EF is half of BC. Also we know that EF is half of BC. We have to prove. And another thing is, so we have to prove these two angles are equal. these two angles are equal. Then also we can consider those two lines are parallel. So that's why firstly here we have to prove this angle AEF and angle ABC is equal to, those two are equal means then we can easily take EF is parallel to BC. That's why we have to prove this first, that is angle AEF is equal to angle ABC. So then we can easily take those two lines are one and be parallel. So for that what you have to do? So we have to just observe here angle AEF and angle CDF. I will take those two triangles because here just observe, here we can take some of the equalities. It is possible here this equal to this and this equal to this and these two are forms vertically opposite sides. When it is angle AF is equal to angle CDF, angle ADF is equal to AF is equal to angle CDF, then this angle and this angle, those two are equal because it's a parallelogram. When it is parallelogram, so we have to take that one. So that's why we have to prove these two angles are equal. Then we can easily take this AF is parallel to the BC. So that's why we have to take these two triangles. Let us consider triangle AEF and triangle CDF. Here it is not a parallelogram. Here also we have to prove this one is parallelogram. Also we have to prove these two angles are equal. After that we have to come to the conclusion. So that's why we have to take all these points. Yes. Triangle AEF and triangle CDF we have to consider first. So in that what are the equalities we have? EF is equal to FD from construction. EF is equal to FD because from construction. So it's a construction, we constructed that one. Yes, then what are the other possibility here? AF is equal to FC because F is the midpoint of AC and those two becomes the corresponding parts of those two triangles. That is AF is equal to FC because F is midpoint of AC. F is the midpoint of AC. We have, that's why we have this equality. Then here a pair of vertically opposite sides is the pair of vertically opposite angles are there. So we have to take that one. Yes, angle AFE is equal to angle CFD. Angle AFE is equal to angle CFD. So it is vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Then, so here we have two sides which are equal and one angle which are equal. So that's why we can take SAS congruence rule. So from SAS congruence rule, so we can take these two triangles are congruent. That is triangle AEF is congruent to triangle CDF. That is triangle AEF is congruent to triangle CDF here. So when we have a congruent triangles, the corresponding parts of congruent triangles possible, we have to take it as equals. So here we have to take those corresponding parts which is very needed to our proof. So yes. So already we know that we have to prove that this is a parallelogram and the pair of these two, that is corresponding sides, those two are equal, we have to prove. So firstly we have to prove this BCDE is a parallelogram, so we have to prove first. Yes, so let us take that one. Yes. Here, firstly I will take AE is equal to CD. Already we know that AE is equal to EB, so that's why we can easily take those two are equals. So that's why we can take. So here, therefore, AE is equal to CD. Yes. Already we know that here it is a CPCT. Here it is CPCT. Then, so here I considered this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2 here. So that's why from equation number 1 A is equal to EB, already we know that because he is the midpoint of AB. That's why we have to take that one. That is EB is equal to CD because equation number 1, I will take this as equation number 3. Here we have AB is equal to CD. From only this condition we can't consider EB is parallel to CD. But here we want a pair of alternate interior angle possible, it is equal. So what are the alternate interior angle possible for that one? So angle AEF and angle CDF. When we take those two things, AE is parallel to CD. Also we know that A is equal to EB from equation 1, so that's why we can replace EB. EB is parallel to CD also. That's why we want this two alternate interior angle is equal. So let us take those two things, and those two things are the corresponding parts of these two congruent triangles. That is therefore angle AEF is equal to angle CDF. So here it's a alternate interior angles. Therefore, so when it is alternate interior angle possible, then this AE is parallel to CD. Therefore, AE is parallel to CD. So when AE is parallel to CD, we already know that AE is equal to EB. So let's take that one. So that is EB is parallel to CD. I will take this as equation number 4. So from equation number 3 and 4, here just observe EB is equal to CD and EB is parallel to CD. That is a pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel. So that one is a parallelogram. So therefore BCDE is a parallelogram. From equation 3 and 4, we have BCDE is a parallelogram here. So when BCDE is a parallelogram, so we can take EF is parallel to BC. EF is parallel to BC. We have also we know that angle AEF is equal to angle CDF. So angle AEF is equal to angle CDF, and when AB, this is a parallelogram, when this BCD is a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. So that's why we can take angle CDF is equal to angle EBC. That is angle AEF is equal to angle EBC. This implies EF is parallel to BC. EF is parallel to BC. So here it is the proof of this theorem. So here we have to take the right step. Firstly we have to take these two triangles and then make it congruent, and then so we have to take the corresponding parts needed, and after that we have to prove this is a parallelogram. So from this one, so we have to come to the conclusion. So let us take some of the problems based on this theorem. Let's take the first problem of this video. So the problem is in triangle ABC, DE and F are respectively the midpoint of AB, BC and AC. Show that triangle ABC is divided into 4 congruent triangles joining DEF. Here we have 3 midpoints of 3 sides, that is D is the midpoint of AB, E is the midpoint of AC and F is the midpoint of BC. So we already have, and when we construct a triangle with the help of these 3 points DEF, then complete triangle is divided into 4 triangles. 4 triangles, and those 4 triangles are congruent, we have to prove here. So let us take that one. here we already know that when we draw a line passing through the midpoint of those two sides of a triangle, which is parallel to the third side. Yes. So here we have to consider D and F are midpoint of AB and AC. Then here D is parallel to BC. So that means here we have a parallelogram here. Just observe here we have a parallelogram, that is DFB is a parallelogram here. So in that, when we consider DF is a diagonal, so the diagonal of a parallelogram splits into two congruent triangles. Yes. So that means these two are congruent. So that's why, so likewise we have to take EF and DF. So after that we have to come to the conclusion all the four triangles are congruent. So let's take that one. Firstly we have to write the given. What are the given we have? So we have to write first given, that is here D and F are midpoint of AB, BC and CA. So that one is the given, that is D, E and F are midpoints of AB, BC and AC. So we have. So after that we have to prove all the four triangles formed from the joining DEF. So we have congruent. So all the four triangles are congruent, we have to prove. So that one we have to prove. No need of writing that one. So directly we have to take it to the solution. Solution or proof. Yes. So firstly I will take D and E are the midpoints of AB and AC. That is D and E. D and E are the midpoints of AB and AC. D and E are the midpoints of AB and AC. So then, here according to the midpoint theorem, so DE is parallel to BC we can take. That is, therefore, DE is parallel to BC. DE is parallel to BC. So here FB is the half of this BC. So that's why we can take FB in place of BC. So that's why this implies DE is parallel to FB also we can take. Therefore, we have DE FB parallelogram. Therefore, DE FB is a parallelogram. I'll take this as equation number 1. Yes. Then, so let us move on to the next one. So it is D and F are midpoints of AB and BC. D and F are midpoints of AB and BC. See, so here D and F are midpoints of AB and BC. So here D and F are midpoints of AB and BC. That's why here DF is parallel to AC. DF is parallel to AC. So this implies here AC is one of the part, that is EFEC is the one of the part of AC. That's why DF is also parallel to EC. That is DF is parallel to EC also. When DF is parallel to EC, so then DECF is the parallelogram. That is DECF is a parallelogram. I will take this as equation number 2. Then, so here D and E is completed and D and F is completed. Then remaining is E and F. E and F are the midpoints of AC and BC. That is E and F are midpoints of AC and BC. AC and BC. Therefore, so here, when we have E and F are midpoints of AC and BC, it's either side of the triangle, then this EF is parallel to AB. That is EF is parallel to AB. So this implies, so here we have to take EF. So EF is parallel to AD. That means here just observe AD is a part of AB. So that's why we can take EF is parallel to AD. That is EF is parallel to AD. So this implies ADFE is a parallelogram. ADFE is a parallelogram. I will take this as equation number 3. Yes. So here we have three parallelograms. That is, one is the DEFB and DECF and ADFE. Three parallelograms we have. So in that, in all the triangle, all the parallelogram, so we have one diagonal here from DEFB. So we have a DF diagonal, and from DECF we have EF diagonal, and ADFE in that DE is a diagonal. So so we already have these parallelograms. In parallelogram, when we construct a diagonal, so diagonal splits parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So that's why we can take all the triangles are congruent. So firstly we have to take, so from equation 1. So from equation 1, here DEFB is a parallelogram. Here DF is a diagonal. DF is a diagonal. Then triangle DFB. Triangle DFB is congruent to triangle DEF. So then, similarly, from equation 2, here DECF. DECF, in that EF is a diagonal. And then after that, this diagonal splits this parallelogram into two congruent triangles. That's why, so from equation number 2, so I will take similarly, so here triangle DEF is congruent to triangle EFC, because from equation 2. Then similarly, so likewise we have to take this third parallelogram, that is ADFE. In that D is a diagonal. The diagonal splits into two congruent triangles. That is triangle ADE. ADE is congruent to triangle DEF. Because from equation. So here just observe angle DFB is congruent to triangle DEF, and triangle EFC is also congruent to triangle DEF, and triangle AD is also congruent to triangle DEF. The things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. So that's why so I will take this as equation 4, equation 5 and equation 6. So from equation 4, 5 and 6, so we can come to the conclusion that triangle DFB is congruent to triangle EFC is congruent to triangle ADE is congruent to triangle DEF. So that means all the four triangles are congruent. So here we proved that all the four congruent, all the four triangles formed inside the triangle ABC because of joining DEF, those triangles are congruent here. So let us move on to the next problem. So let us take the second problem here. ABCD is a quadrilateral in which PQ, R and S are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD and AC is a diagonal. So here only we have ABCD quadrilateral. It's a quadrilateral, not a parallelogram, not a rectangle, not a square. It's simply a quadrilateral it is. So there PQ, R and S are midpoints of AB, BC, CD and DA. Here we have to draw that one. So here P is the midpoint of AB. So here it is P, here we have P. Then Q is the midpoint of BC. Q is the midpoint of BC. Yes, Q. Then R is the midpoint of CD. Here R is the midpoint of CD. Then S is the midpoint of D. S is the midpoint of D. So then we have to join all those things. Yes, then here PQ I will join here. Here PQ and here I will join PS. Then here SR I will join here and then QR I will join here. Yes, here we have the figure. Then AC is a diagonal. Here we have to draw AC diagonal here. Yes, here I will draw AC diagonal like this. Yes. So here, so it's a construction, it's a problem. Then we have to show SR is parallel to AC and SR is equal to half into AC. Then PQ is equal to SR and PQR is a parallelogram. We have to prove here. So it is given, that is already given. It is the PQR is at the midpoint of AB, BC, CD and DA. AC is a diagonal. It is given, and we have to prove these things. That is to prove. Yes. Then, so let's take the solution. Yes. So SR is parallel to AC. SR is parallel to AC. We have to prove. So here, when we take the triangle DAC, S and R are the midpoint of either sides of that triangle. So that means SR is parallel to AC. Yes, obviously, and SR is half of this AC, obviously. So it is very simple. So it is, we have to use the theorem 8.9 here. That's midpoint theorem here. That is. So consider triangle DAC. In triangle DAC, S and R are the midpoint of DA and DC. S and R are midpoint of DA and DC. DA and DC. So then SR is parallel to AC. SR is parallel to AC because it's a midpoint theorem. Midpoint theorem. From midpoint theorem we have. Then also we can take SR is equal to half of AC. So we can take. So here we have the first assumption. Yes. So let us take the next assumption. Here we have to prove PQ is equal to SR. That is PQ is equal to SR. We have to prove. So just observe here. AC is common for both these two triangles. When PQ is equal to half into AC, so then PQ is parallel to AC, PQ is equal to half into AC, SR is also half into AC, PQ is also half into AC, then those two are equal? Yes. So let us consider ABC triangle. Let us consider triangle ABC. Here P and Q are the midpoints of AB and BC. P and Q are midpoints of AB and BC. Then PQ is parallel to AC. Yes. From the midpoint theorem we can take PQ is parallel to AC because if a line segment is passes through the midpoint of either side of the triangle, then this line is parallel to the third side. That is PQ is parallel to AC. So also we can take, so this is from the midpoint theorem. This is from midpoint theorem, and then also we can take PQ is equal to half into AC. Yes. So here I will take this as equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. From equation 1 and 2 we can take, from equation 1 and 2, So we can take SR is equal to also half into AC, PQ is also half into AC. The things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. So that's why from equation 1 and 2 we can take PQ is equal to SR here. So that means here just observe PQ is equal to SR. Here PQ is equal to SR means so those two opposite sides are equal. And then here just observe SR is parallel to AC and PQ is parallel to AC. So from those two equations we come to the conclusion that SR is parallel to PQ. Yes. So that is PQ is parallel to SR also. Then so we come to the conclusion that PQRS is a parallelogram. PQRS is a parallelogram. Yes. So here too with the help of midpoint theorem. So let us move on to the next problem. So let us take two homework here. So first one is the ABCD is a rhombus and PQ, R and S are midpoints of AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. Show that quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. Again the similar problem is ABCD is a rectangle and PQ and RS are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. Show that quadrilateral PQRS is a rhombus. I think it's a vice versa. Like that. Here just observe, firstly what we have to do is we have to draw a rhombus first. Here firstly we have to draw the rhombus and then we have to find out the midpoints. Here when we take ABCD here, ABCD here, so we have to take P and Q and R and S. So it is P, Q, R and S. Then we have to take the sides like this. Okay, so here we have this one. Then we can take one diagonal like this. Yes, when we take the diagonal, so the complete rhombus converted into two triangles. Here two triangles here. So when this quadrilateral becomes a quadrilateral rectangle, so here the opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite sides are equal and parallel, then only we can consider those two opposites are this PQRS is a rectangle we can take. Also we can take another diagonal also. Here we can take another diagonal. So for this PQ and RS, for this PS and QR, you have to use this diagonal as BD, and for PQ and RS, you have to use this diagonal BC. So already you know about theorem 8.9. So that's why, so you have to use this theorem here. Simultaneously here we have a rectangle and we have to find the midpoint. That is, so if it is ABCD, we have to find P, Q, here, Q, then R, then S. So you have to join all those points and then you have to prove. So then here you can take one diagonal here like this. Yes, no, sorry. Here you have to take the diagonal here, and here also you have to take the diagonal, and with the help of diagonals, so we have two congruent triangles. There we can take this PQ is equal to half into AC. Here also this PS is half into BD. Likewise we can take. Okay, so that's why here what you have to take is, so we have to use the theorem 8.9. So that means if a line segment is midpoint of if a line segment from the midpoint of either sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side, so we have to continuously take that one. So from that we have PS is parallel to BD as well as PS is equal to half into BD. Here also QR is equal to half into BD. So from those two things, PS is equal to QR we have. Here from the diagonal AC we have PQ is equal to half into AC, RS is equal to half into AC. So here these two are equal. So from rectangle the opposite sides are equal. From rhombus all the sides are equal. So keep it in mind that one. So you have to solve this problem. So Those who are watching this video for the first time, please subscribe our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. You can get the notification very easily. Also hit the like button. Thank you and all. Be safe and stay home. Thank you.